Ooh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I have no reason to be nervous, but I am. Do 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 do. Hmm. Now I'm second guessing myself. Take two. Yeah, take two. Unlike most people I've talked to, I love elections. America just had their big one last year. The Canadians just had theirs just like last week, 2 weeks ago. The British have had their share of elections the past 5 years. And at this point, the conclave is going to happen soon, which is the Catholic election of the next Pope. And with the conclave, it's different because you don't know when it's going to happen next. Unlike the American system, where it's every 4 years, the conclave, it's not pre-planned really. It just kind of happens. You don't know if the next conclave is going to be 2 months from now, or it could be in 20 years. You don't know. So that's why with each conclave, I always try to make sure to savor the most of it. And it's also the most secretive one, too. Like, they don't really advertise any frontrunners, and there's no political parties necessarily, so it's tough to know who the players are. So while it adds to the whole mystique of it all, which I really enjoy, it's also tough to get into if you don't know who the big players are. While they say there's no like real front runners in the conclave, which is true, that's also not very fun. So I've done your honor of doing the research, the little bit of research, and I watched the movie Conclave. I even watched The Two Popes, and I feel kind of suited to give this to give you guys the lowdown on who could potentially be the next pope. Let's just talk about how does it work. Basically, we put a bunch of cardinals under a certain age and put them into the Sistine Chapel, where they decide and talk amongst each other. Exactly what? I don't know. But they do have a very delicate voting process, and then they count it out. Whoever gets 2/3 of the vote will become pope, and they let us know via the black smoke, which is no pope, or white smoke, as in yes, we do got a pope. Historically, these things could take weeks, but lately, the last few times, it's been decided in like a day or a few days. So, like I said, very mysterious, has all the aesthetics of like a secret ritual, which is something I really enjoy. There is a saying that if you go into a conclave as a pope, then you will leave as a cardinal. Basically, if you go in expecting to be pope, then chances are you're going to leave as a cardinal. So this only applies to like 130 people in the whole world. But anyways, I've dilly-dallied for long enough. Let's begin. The first person on the list I've got is Pietro Paolini. I call him the diplomat in my mind. In my anime-saturated mind, I have little labels for each of them. No one actually calls him that, but it's just easier for me to break it down. He is a diplomat. He is considered a master negotiator, and he's a part of the Vatican Insider. But he's kind of the middleman for the political factions inside the Vatican. So what you often find when you're looking into the Cardinals is that there seems to be like two parties forming. Not that they're like official parties like we have in the American system of conservative and liberal, but rather we can describe it like this. There are those traditionalists who like to keep things traditional, but also they focus a lot on doctrine, making sure that we are following the doctrine as it says it is, and not really bending the holy rules. And then we have the reformers who like to change a lot of things, not change the doctrine, but they might come close to. But basically change how we relate to the world. So Pope Francis was definitely much more on the reformer side of things. While you could say the Pope before him, Pope Benedict, was very much on the traditionalist side of things. And Pietro, this person, he's kind of the in-between. So people think of him as sort of a safe bet. He's already knows the power structures that be, and he's basically, he knows how to run the place. He knows what's going on. So that's Cardinal Pietro Paolini. Next, we've got Cardinal Tegel. He's considered the Asian Francis. He's very charismatic. He's got youthful energy, despite his age. And So, but he's not, he's kind of an outsider. And when it comes to the Vatican, he's very popular on the media side of things, but he might not be as popular within the Cardinals themselves. He's Filipino, so if he does get selected, he will be the first Asian Pope, and he'll be a very globally focused Pope as well. You're looking at another Pope Francis-like figure, and that'll be him. Next, we've got Peter Turkson, the Justiciar. Basically, he's very outspoken on climate change. He's a very big global thinker, and he is an African cardinal. African cardinals are known for being pretty traditional, but he is one that's more of a reformer. He's a bit more like Pope Francis in that regards. But that is, yeah, that's Cardinal Peter Turkson. Turkson. Then we've got Robert Serra, the Warden. He has been gaining a lot of following online, especially amongst more traditional people. He is a face of the traditional faction. He's very much on strict adherence to dogma. He even went into a lot of conflict with Pope Francis about this. He actually worked together with the previous pope to write a book as like a discreet attack on Pope Francis and his policies. And after that, he sort of like resigned. So he's not in very much of a good standing, but he does look really cool in those shades, and he is certainly a force to be reckoned with. Next, we've got Matteo Zuppi, the Peacemaker. He's another Pope Francis-like figure. He's very skilled in conflict resolution, and people call him like a Francis 2.0. He's very diplomatically focused. He's a big reformer, and he has a record of actually securing peace in conflicting areas. The thing people might hold against him is he's a bit gentle. He's a bit of a nice guy. So when it comes to holding the line as to when something crosses the boundary in terms of doctrine, he may not be strong enough to hold up to that. That's him. Now we have Peter Edo, the scholar. He's from Hungary. He's a bit different. He's actually the opposite of the previous guy. He's more of a theological person. He's considered a canon lawyer. So he talks about what is actually doctrine, what is not. He's quite traditional, and he's very stern on that. So while he doesn't really have a strong emphasis on going out to the world, evangelizing, being global, or he's more about keeping the doctrines as pure as they can be and make sure that we are following the words of God the closest way that we can. So that's what he's going to be focused on if he ever does get elected as Pope. Then we have another one, Jean-Marc Aveline. He is a bridge maker. He's really big into having dialogue with other faith cultures and with the secular culture as well. He's French, which for some people is a big deal. He's a very modern-esque person. He likes religious coexistence. He really likes immigration. He likes diversity. That's sort of him. And then we have Pier Battista Pizzaballa, the medic. Actually, I should look up how to pronounce his name. Italian.
Pier Battista Pizzaballa.
So with Cardinal Pizzaballa, I call him the medic. Because he needs to heal a lot of wounds. Because he is the bishop in Jerusalem currently, and Jerusalem is a hotbed of many wounds. He is known to be a very strong leader. He's boots on the ground. He's brave. There was a hostage situation going on, and he offered himself up to be taken as a hostage. He's really good in a crisis. His one big weakness is that he's considered to be young to be running for the papacy. He's 60 years old. Usually people want someone a bit more older, but that didn't quite stop John Paul II. So essentially, he is a bishop put in a very difficult position. It seems like he's doing quite well. That's all the cardinals who I think have the most name recognition and the chance to become the next pope. But ultimately, we will see. There was over 130 candidates to be chosen from, and realistically, any one of these guys could be chosen. Whether it's by the Spirit of God or through backroom deals, someone will get chosen soon, and it's very interesting to see what kind of Catholic leadership we will see from this person. I feel like St. Francis set a lot of precedents, so I'm really wondering if the next Pope will be pressured to do the same thing, to follow the same traditions and the same standards that Pope Francis has set. And what kind of modern Pope will we have that's not Pope Francis? Anyways, just wanted to make this video. But yeah, that's it. Bye!